Right now, somewhere where inside the walls of your home, heat is bleeding out. Not slowly, not eventually, but right now as you watch this. Every single winter night, the average American home loses enough heat through its walls, windows, and attic to warm a second house. Your furnace kicks on, burns fuel, and pushes hot air into rooms that can't hold it. Then it kicks on again and again and again. The average American household is on track to spend $995 on heating this winter alone. That's according to the National Energy Assistance Directors Association, and that number just went up 9% from last year. The electric space heater you're running in your bedroom right now could be adding $36 to $60 a month to your electric bill per unit, but there is a material that costs about $3 at Home Depot, a single brick that absorbs heat, stores it deep inside its core, and radiates it back into a room for 6 to 8 hours. No electricity, no gas line, no moving parts. MIT's Department of Nuclear Science and Engineering studied this material in 2017 and called it one of the lowest cost thermal energy storage systems ever tested. Then, the $165 billion HVAC industry made sure you'd never think to look for it. They buried it, not because it failed, not because it was dangerous, but because it worked and it never stopped working. A homeowner who learns a $3 brick can keep a room warm for 8 hours is a homeowner who stops buying $70 space heaters every October. A homeowner who stops calling the HVAC tech every time the furnace sounds funny is a homeowner who saves money. A homeowner who doesn't panic when the power goes out at 2 in the morning in January can sleep through the cold. And that is a crisis when your entire revenue model depends on people being cold and scared every winter. This is the story of the Firebrick, the $3 ceramic brick that the $165 billion heating industry spent 2.5 centuries making sure you'd never associate with your living room. Welcome to Buried Remedies. Subscribe and hit the notification bell because this is the kind of video that doesn't get recommended twice. Now, let's pull this one out of the ground. The year was 1767 in Stockholm, Sweden. Two men, an architect named Carl Johan Cronstedt and a general named Fabian Reeder, had been given a direct order by the Swedish government. Sweden was running out of firewood after decades of iron smelting and shipbuilding stripped the forests bare. Homes across Scandinavia were burning through fuel at a rate the land couldn't sustain, and ordinary fireplaces were wasting about 85 to 90% of the heat they generated. Cronstedt and Reeder were not trying to solve your heating bill. They were trying to save an entire country from a fuel crisis. What they built was called the kakelugn, a tall, narrow ceramic tile stove made of dense masonry. Instead of letting smoke and hot gas rush straight up a flue, they designed a system of 5 internal channels, a labyrinth that forced heat to wind back and forth through the body of the stove. That thermal maze turned the brick and tile into a battery, a heat battery. The fire inside would burn fast and hot for about 2 hours, but the mass absorbed that heat deep into its structure and then kept radiating warmth for 12 hours, sometimes up to 18. Published reports from the period estimated the Cronstedt-Vreede design was 8 times more fuel efficient than a conventional open fireplace. The Swedish government was so impressed they mandated the technology, and by the late 1700s, the kakelugn was the standard heating system in Swedish homes. The principle behind it, thermal mass, was simple. Dense materials like brick, stone, and ceramic absorb heat slowly, store it deep, and release it gradually. By the 20th century, thermal mass heating had spread across Northern Europe, Russia, and Finland. The Russian stove was a massive brick structure weighing 1 to 2 tons, and the Finnish puntuni used sheet metal around a brick core to heat cabins for a day. But it was an American institution that confirmed what the Scandinavians already knew. In 2001, Dr. Jan Kosny and a team of researchers at Oak Ridge National Laboratory published a landmark study on thermal mass in residential buildings. They ran over 10,000 computer simulations across 10 American climates, from Minneapolis to Phoenix to Washington, D.C., comparing lightweight wood frame walls to high mass masonry walls. The results were published through ASHRAE, the American Society of Heating, Refrigerating, and Air Conditioning Engineers. In cooling climates like Bakersfield, California, high mass walls reduced whole building energy consumption by up to 18%. In heating climates like Minneapolis, the savings reached 8% just from the mass of the material in the walls, not from better insulation, from the brick itself acting as a thermal buffer. Then in 2017, Dr. Charles Forsberg at MIT published a paper proposing a system called FIRES, Firebrick Resistance Heated Energy Storage. His finding was that ordinary firebricks could store thermal energy at 1/10 to 1/40th the cost of lithium-ion batteries. Forsberg pointed out that this technology could have been developed in the 1920s. The material has existed for 3,500 years, since the era of the Hittites in ancient Turkey. That was peer-reviewed science, published, verified, and covered by MIT News. And then, silence. No major home improvement chain marketed Firebrick as a home heating aid. No contractor started recommending it. No energy company mentioned it in a single winter heating guide. It was not recalled. It was not disproven. It was simply never brought into the conversation. Here is what nobody in the heating industry will ever say out loud. The HVAC industry in the United States alone generates $165 billion in revenue every single year. That's according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics and confirmed by the industry's own trade reports. The first revenue stream is the service call. The average HVAC repair costs American homeowners about $350 per visit. The diagnostic fee alone runs $75 to $200. Millions of these calls happen every winter the moment your furnace makes a weird noise and you reach for your phone. That's by design. The second revenue stream is the product replacement cycle. Americans buy approximately 33 million portable space heaters every year. Most cost between $40 and $100 and eat about 36 to 60 pounds a month in electricity. They last on average 3 to 5 years before they break or become a fire hazard, and then you buy another one. The third revenue stream is the escalation when your furnace finally dies and the average replacement cost is $4,700. High efficiency models run $7,000 or more and add ductwork and you're looking at $10,000. That's the jackpot and that's where the real money lives. Every single dollar of that system depends on one thing, you not knowing how to keep a room warm without plugging something in or lighting something up. A homeowner who understands thermal mass, who knows that a $3 firebrick heated in an oven can radiate warmth for 8 hours without a single watt of electricity, is a homeowner who exits the panic cycle. No emergency service call at 2 a.m., no $100 electric bill from running space heaters all night, no $5,000 furnace replacement just because the old one gave out during a cold snap. And you cannot patent a brick, you cannot patent a physical law, you cannot build a subscription model around something that costs $3 and lasts forever. So they didn't ban it and they didn't make it illegal. They made heating so complicated sounding that most Americans just called the number on the truck. For 250 years, it worked. Until now. If you're still watching, you now know more about how thermal mass works than 90% of American homeowners who are going to spend nearly $1,000 heating their house this winter. That's why this channel exists. If this is your first time here, subscribe, not for me, for the next video because the next one goes deeper than this. Quick note, I put every material, every method, every measurement from this vault and more into one document. The buried Remedies vault, the $0 heating vault, the thermal mass protocol, and the winter emergency kit are all in one place. Link is in the description or scan the code on your screen, but stay here because the part that actually saves you money comes next. Here is exactly what to do today with no contractor needed. Materials total cost about $3 to $6. One firebrick, the standard 4.5 by 9 inch size, rated to 2000 degrees Fahrenheit is needed. Home Depot sells a Rutland Firebrick for about $6, and Lowe's and Amazon also carry options. If your local hardware store carries masonry supplies, they will have them as well. One pair of oven mitts or heavy work gloves is required. One standard kitchen oven is all you need. Step 1. Turn your oven to its highest setting, which is usually 450 or 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Place the firebrick directly on the center rack and let it heat for 1 to 2 hours so the heat penetrates the core. The longer it sits, the deeper the heat penetrates into the core. Step 2. Using heavy oven mitts or work gloves, carefully remove the brick from the oven. Place it on a heat-safe surface like a cast iron skillet, baking sheet ceramic tile, or metal trivet. Never place a hot brick directly on wood carpet or plastic. Use common sense. Step 3. Set the brick in the room you want to warm, such as your bedroom, home, office, or living room. The brick will radiate infrared heat outward in all directions, and you will feel it within minutes. It is the same kind of warmth you feel near a sun-baked brick wall, gentle, even, and steady. Step 4. Within 30 minutes, the area around the brick will be noticeably warmer. Over 6 to 8 hours, the brick will slowly release its stored thermal energy. In a well-insulated room with doors closed and windows sealed, a single firebrick can keep ambient temperature comfortable through the night. For bigger rooms or colder climates, use 2 or 3 bricks, and the total cost is still under $10 once. Those bricks never wear out, never need replacing, and they do not break down. The same firebrick technology has survived for 3,500 years in archaeological digs. Pro tip: standard red clay bricks from the garden aisle work too, but firebricks are engineered to absorb, store, and radiate heat. A popular science article from 1979 reported that firebrick holds 80% more heat than cast iron and releases it slowly. That slow release is the whole game, and it gives you an 8-hour window. One honest note before we close this one. Firebrick is commercially available, completely legal, and sold at every major hardware chain in America. It is rated for temperatures far beyond anything your home oven can produce. However, a heated brick is a hot object, so use oven mitts, use a heat-safe surface, and keep it away from children, pets, and flammable materials. This is not a replacement for your primary heating system in extreme conditions. It is a supplement, a backup, and in mild climates, an alternative for zone heating. If your home has no heat source at all, or if you are dealing with a serious emergency in sub-zero temperatures, call a professional. The power of this material is in everyday use and prevention, because a homeowner who heats smart spends a fraction of what a homeowner who heats scared does. That is not a sales pitch. It is what 3 millennia of material science confirms. This material was never lost, never banned, never recalled, and never disproven. It has been sitting in engineering databases, MIT research papers, Oak Ridge National Laboratory archives, and archaeological sites in plain view. Meanwhile, the $165 billion HVAC industry built an empire on making sure you would not connect a $3 brick to the word heating. Right now, heat is still bleeding out inside the walls of your home. Your furnace is still cycling. Your space heater is running up your electric bill. And winter will be back next year. The brick costs $3 and the knowledge costs nothing, but what costs everything is another winter of not knowing. If this helped you, subscribe and share now, because one share might reach a homeowner about to write a $5,000 check for something that costs $3. Every share pulls one more remedy out of the ground. The complete Buried Remedies vault is linked in the description, or scan the code on your screen right now. The next vault opens soon, and what is buried inside it is worth more than everything you heard today.